This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is not America's sweetheart, Davian.
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess, Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy James.
This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit, Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
Hello, and welcome to the show at Wrestling with Entertainment, bringing you the latest exclusive breaking news, previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday, and the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and CastBox for 200 episodes, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, that guy, James J., alongside Kaliko Yachts, who will not be joining us tonight, unfortunately, but who is here, the American Scooter Dust.
404, funny line not found.
And it was a good week for Wrestling With as we interviewed Mars, the specialist. Fantastic interview, incredible human being. If you have interesting food, if you like interesting food debates, we got that. And if you like, if a car can do, if you ever asked yourself, could a car do a spin-a-rooney? Well, Mars got the answer for you. And then on Wednesday, recent inductee into the Women's Wrestling Hall of Fame for CCW, Alyssa Marino, fellow interviewer and Let's Get Serial, a former WWE signee, and we talked all things interviewing, Serial. She was an opera singer at one point, and probably everybody's least favorite person, Corey Graves. So go back into the archives to check out those interviews. And this upcoming Tuesday and Wednesday, we got AJ Kazana and Joe Kazana. Joe is obviously the promoter of Joe Kazana Promotions as well. AJ, third generation pro wrestler, just recently won the NWA United States Championship on the first live episode of NWA Power. We talk about that, his relationship with Anthony Andrews, an interesting night at karaoke with Silas Mason, ladder matches, and a whole lot more. And Joe Kazana, I mean, what can you say about the Golden Boy? He owns his own promotion now. The father of AJ, his grandfather was John Kazana. Over almost 100 years of his family in pro wrestling. We talk about that, teaming with his son, wrestling some of the greatest wrestlers of his generation, almost dying in a Bob Evans, and a hell of a lot more. Especially this thing for Dolly Parton for some reason. What was that, Scooter?
He said Bob Evans. He didn't die in the Bob Evans.
No, not brutal Bob Evans. A Bob Evans. But if you don't believe me, here's some clips right now.
Like my boots that I wear now are snakeskin cowboy boots that are modeled after my actual snakeskins.
Nice.
But they're wrestling boots. That's what they are. They're made to wrestle in. But you know, whatever. I'm gonna get on that soapbox, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, you're just mad because you can't do all these flips and stuff." And whatever. People forget that I'm a Division I athlete, and I played football at the University of Tennessee. I can do anything I want to. I just choose not to because I'm big.
Yeah, you could get up for a 450 if you needed to.
Oh, if I wanted to, man, I could hit a 450. Actually, I'm scared of heights, so I don't go to the top rope. There's your little clip for the day that nobody thought they'd hear. AJ Kazan. That's your headline. AJ Kazan, scared of heights? Question mark.
That's for the middle ladder match.
No,
Hell no.
Dude, I dread the day that I have to go up a 12-foot ladder to get a freaking belt or anything. One, because I'm almost 300 pounds and the weight limit on those things ain't that much.
Yeah. Anthony,
And two,
get your ass up there, Anthony.
Yeah, go. You go. I'll hold the bottom. I'll base for you.
Paul Orndorff, you were driving the car with him and he almost killed you?
I'm not going to tell that story. Paul Orndorff, again, God rest his soul. I mean, I don't have. I mean, there's some guys in this business that I've got some pretty crappy memories of, but Orndorff, man, old school tough guy. I've wrestled him quite a few times. And you're right. I've been in a car with him once or twice. About got us killed in a Bob Evans one time. But the car stories, man, we'll save that. We'll save that for another day. I'm not going to tell that one. But he did about get us killed in Bob Evans.
Could you tell us that story?
No, gosh, no.
All right. On the 22nd, we got Anthony Andrews. On the 28th, we got Poilo Del Mar. And on the 29th, we have the Drill Billy Silas Mason. Alright, now that we're done putting ourselves over, it's a great day for wrestling because we are wrestling with the news. One interesting bit of news coming out this week is Taya Valkyrie might be making her AEW debut soon, or a return to WWE. I don't really want to see Taya in AEW. They really misuse their goals there. But what say you, Scooter?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to see her in AEW either, quite honestly. She really would be misused. And I mean that's all you can say.
If she goes to WWE, if she's on the main roster, I could see her doing something. But if she goes back to NXT, she's gonna be misused again, right?
Oh yeah.
So where does she go?
Oh God. Maybe MLW?
Do they have a women's division?
I thought Morrison was wrestling for them.
Last time I checked, Morrison was a man.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's logical to assume now that she can, she'd want to go where her husband is, and vice versa.
So, if the two top companies want her, is she liable just to say, okay, this place is going to misuse me, but the money's good?
Would Taya just do it for the paycheck? I don't think so, quite honestly. We got only a small fraction of her Hispanic heritage And that was a big part of her, of her character. But, when she's doing promos against, Raquel, who is also, a fluent Spanish speaker, it's...
What about Stardom and New Japan? I mean, they need stars to wrestle Mercedes Moné.
You know what? Yeah. She could probably do really well in Japan.
I think if the money's really good, I think that would be the best place for her, honestly. Alright. Talking about Japan, Sarray is gone from NXT. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, the last time I saw her on NXT TV, she was a schoolgirl that turned into like a superhero.
She was Sailor Moon, basically.
Which is which is not a great look if somebody's actually watching.
Could have been worse. She could have been Sailor Uranus.
I don't think they do lesbian storylines in WWE. But that being said, do you think we'll get a Saraya tag team if she goes to AEW?
Ooh, the Anagram Academy.
Submission Sorority 2.0?
You can't spell Saraya without Sarray.
Alright. WWE is looking to legalize betting on pro wrestling. I don't necessarily think that's a good idea, but what are your thoughts on it?
It is absolutely not a good idea. Mainly because the outcomes are predetermined. And all it takes is one person on the inside to spread that information, and either people win a lot or they potentially lose everything. Pro wrestling is the one sport that it should be illegal to bet on.
I mean, it is a conflict of interest.
Yeah, I mean, I'd sooner bet on slap fights than pro wrestling.
Didn't you bet on, like, marble races at one point?
I've taken part in many a marble race via Twitch. I've also considered hosting my own marble streams. I love stuff like that.
The story I was getting was it would add to the value of WWE when they got sold. That, oh, you can bet on this. It's we have people betting on pro wrestling, even though it's predetermined and we know who's gonna win. But you don't know who's gonna win. Somebody, a company could tell you who's gonna win, and you would win a lot of money. But again, it doesn't seem. It seems like there's more negatives than positives doing that.
Oh, absolutely.
speaking of turning a negative into a positive, Oprah Khan. Oh, I mean Tony Khan. My bad. More announcements. You get an announcement. You get an announcement. Everybody gets an announcement. The All Atlantic title will now be the international title.
Oh, good God! Like, I watched this on Dynamite. I don't think I don't think a championship has ever been renamed in order to promote a movie, let alone let alone a DC movie where Shazam tells Helen Mirren's character that he's seen all the Fast and the Furious movies. Which is funny because Helen Mirren is in 7, 8, 9, and Hobbs and Shaw, and the upcoming 10.
I mean, if they give you a lot of money to change it, to promote a movie, I mean, yeah, of course, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've always hated the name All Atlantic Championship. I mean, you either stick to that and do an All Pacific Championship, or you rename it something a little bit more in tune. That being said, I've always hated. Okay, we have a world heavyweight champion. Our secondary title is the international champion. Okay, how does that make him different from the world champion? I despise using the international. See, intercontinental has more connotations to it because it's representative of the 7 continents. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't rename it AEW World Heavyweight Championship Part 2. This also, and I hate to say this, but by renaming it the International Championship, it's automatically making it the main and secondary championship.
Because you could be champion of TNT, you can be champion of the international, or you could be champion of the Raw.
I mean, because nobody's not gonna make the association where, okay, intercontinental, so international is now, the second best champion in the company. This reduces the TNT Championship basically to the WCW Television Championship.
Which, I mean, how much TV time has the TNT Championship really gotten? I mean,
it's gotten a lot lately.
I mean, lately, but I mean, it's sort of. But I mean, Orange Cassidy's been defending the All Atlantic Championship on Rampage almost every week. I mean, sure, nobody watches Rampage anymore. It's basically a this happened in the woods type situation, but I mean, they've been giving him a lot more exposure with that title than they did Joe or Wardlow.
I mean, I'm assuming the international title is going to be the ambassador to other promotions, where they'll have where, like the All Atlantic Championship, they'll have permission to put it on the line at certain other promotions.
That was originally what it was supposed to be. And I don't think it went over, honestly, too well.
I mean, just call it the AEW Ambassador Championship.
I mean, it kind of feels like it's just a souped-up European title.
Well, when there was the whole WCW World Championship and the NWA World Championship in '93, when it went from it was Flair Rude, I believe. Yeah, that was the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. The NWA Championship at that time, because there's that gap between 92 and 94, was defaulted to WCW, so they portrayed as the NWA title before renaming it the WCW International Championship.
Okay, basically just another rehash of a bad WCW idea.
And it would get defended every once in a while, but the plan was to unify those two belts, and that happened at Clash of the Champions in June of 1994, when Sensational Sherry showed up to start managing Ric Flair, and of course this was also the build-up to Hogan at Bash at the Beach.
Alright, well, I mean, I agree with probably what Mike talking about why this is a bad idea, but there's other things to talk about. And that is that Backlash will be in Puerto Rico, and Bad Buddy will be the host. I think this is the first time WWE's done a pay-per-view in Puerto Rico since New Year's Resolution 2005? 2004. No, 2005. Scooter?
Yep, the Puerto Rican Coliseum.
What are your thoughts on them going back to Puerto Rico after nearly 20 years? I think it's a good idea. Obviously you want to be more international, but I can't help to feel like they're only doing this to raise the stakes for a higher price when they get sold.
Yeah, I would say that they, I would say that's the case here. I I mean, we're getting multiple international premium live events.
King and Queen of the Ring in Jeddah.
Money in the Bank in London.
Yeah. Possibly an Australian one soon as well.
So, yeah, it probably gives it a little bit more brand recognition in terms of its inherent value in other parts of the country.
How do you feel about Backlash dropping the WrestleMania?
Hallelujah!
Somebody not saying that is Johnny Gargano. It was this last week on NXT. It was announced that Johnny Takeover will be wrestling Grayson Waller at NXT Stand and Deliver, a couple miles away from WrestleMania Night 1. This is a really bad sign that it's not working with Johnny Gargano in WWE, no?
I wouldn't say that.
And why you wouldn't say that?
Because Gargano, his last bit of NXT heat is with Waller. It's Waller who took him out after the promo where he said he was taking time off. So it makes sense from a storyline perspective.
I mean, from a storyline perspective, yes. But if you're Johnny Gargano, you're relegated to essentially a glorified brunch pre-show when you could have been on the main show WrestleMania a couple of blocks away, and you're just an outsider looking in at this point.
I mean, who knows at this point.
Well, we'll get into the match, the whole match when we do the preview. But it was a highly controversial subject that MJF spilled a drink on a child.
Yep.
There's one thing being a heel, but in that context, in that video, when do we stop saying that he's not being a heel and just being an asshole?
At first, I actually thought that kid was in a wheelchair.
Which will make things even worse.
I don't know what would convince MJF that was a good decision.
My biggest issue with it was that the mother and the son, they wasn't, trolling him or yelling at him or saying, boo, you suck. They were just watching. They were really just minding their own business. And it just kind of came out of nowhere. And that's my biggest problem with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you whatever you want to the other wrestlers. It's in a work environment. It's bad. Yada yada. But when you do something to a fan, you really have to be careful about what you're going to say and do, because we are in a world where lawyers are a thing, and you can get sued for any little thing you say or do nowadays. And it did seem like Tony Khan, for the first time in his life, seemed very aware of that. No, Scooter?
Yep. I mean, the question is MJF taking it a little too far on purpose?
Are you saying he wants to get fired?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually wants the bidding war 24 to actually happen.
Well, if you see something like that in AEW, does that make you devalue him in WWE? Say, well, this guy's a loose cannon, we can't trust him.
I think only if he debuts in a Cody match.
Everybody's saying, MJF could go to WWE, he'd do great there. I don't think MJF would do great in WWE. I think he would get eaten alive in WWE. But that's just my opinion on the matter. Alright. Paul Heyman did an interview where he said that his relationship with Roman Reigns is spiritually orgasmic.
Alright, next.
But you only feel that way during, a Bengal Bros match.
Stupid, sexy Heyman.
Yep. I think we should leave it there. Alright, yes, Scooter.
Which one? What was I going to say? In probably was the most unexpected names to be announced for the Hall of Fame was announced on SmackDown last night, and it's Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio is going into the Hall of Fame?
Rey Mysterio is going into the Hall of Fame.
Well, that's going to be really awkward when Dominic has to induct him.
Well, clearly Dominic's not going to induct him, but it's going to bring heat, and I think this is the first time we're actually going to see the Hall of Fame used as a catalyst for Rey agreeing to fight Dominic.
I feel like they would have to have that match already down at Mania before the Hall of Fame, and then obviously do an angle at the show, at the Hall of Fame itself.
I mean, again, because Dominic's trying to get him to challenge him. And when it's not working, what better way than to rain on his parade, so to speak, when the ex-condom shows up at the Hall of Fame ceremony.
Okay, I do get that, but WWE, for the most part, haven't done angles at the Hall of Fame.
I know.
Usually they say, okay, well, they keep a low kayfabe. They said, okay, I'll kick this guy's ass tomorrow, but we're here for something else different tonight.
Well, I mean, I think this is kind of one of the reasons they're doing the Hall of Fame after SmackDown.
Could Rey Mysterio be the first person to wrestle on that SmackDown and be inducted into the Hall of Fame the same night?
Yes, and I think he is technically the first person to be a member of the active roster and get inducted.
So basically what you're saying is nobody else was available to be inducted.
Well, I mean, when it comes to California superstars, Rey Mysterio is not a bad pick at all.
That's true.
Who else? Finley is rumored to be going in.
I know, what his name, Muda is.
Rumor has it that Bully Ray is lobbying for Spike Dudley
Oh, that's awesome.
to get in. I mean, if Coco Beware can get in, Spike Dudley can get in.
Yeah, you're right about that.
And again, while we're at it, let's get Demolition in there. Hell,
It's been a hot minute.
let's get Earthquake in there.
Oh my god, yeah. Earthquake's not in the Hall of Fame yet.
Nope. Oh, and the other name who I could almost guarantee is going in, and that's William Regal.
Ooh, how could they? Could they? I mean, that would be a real slap in AEW's face.
I mean, he's not. If he was getting into the Cauliflower Alley Hall of Fame, that wouldn't be any different. He's not getting it's not a violation of a no-compete clause.
I'd say Tony Khan would dispute that,
but yeah, that's all the Hall of Fame news. But one more. Looks like the WWE may have maybe going to court once more over trademark infringement.
that's right. Indie Wrestler.
Yep. WWE has received 2 cease and desist letters over WWE United States Champion Austin Theory. Theory bills himself as The Now, but this is also the name that New York indie veterans Vic Delicious and Hale Collins have used for their tag team going back more than 15 years. I don't know what part of New York they're from, but I've never heard of them. They're still active and have been seen on NWA programming in recent months. Oh, they're upstate, so they're not real New Yorkers. Delicious and Collins were surprised to see Theory using The Now on a recent WWE Raw episode. They say they've had the name trademarked since 2006 and are now trying to get WWE to stop using their intellectual property. They got a lawyer they described as awesome, a lawyer named Mike Dawkins, who is apparently known as the gimmick attorney.
They should have got Mark Sterling.
Not smart enough.
Well, we know WWE is going to be using Joseph Park.
One of the two cease and desist letters was acknowledged. The second one kind of fell to the wayside. The next step, they say, is a lawsuit for trademark infringement and create confusion in the marketplace.
Okay.
Oh my god! It's those two guys against John Cena at WrestleMania. Yay! I'm confused. I wasn't sure which now was competing against John Cena. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
This is like if friend of the show, Logan, what is his name? Logan,
LaRue? No.
Oh, Logan,
Paul?
No, the guy we interviewed. Logan Black.
Yeah.
If Logan Black sued Cody for using the American Nightmare because he had the American Nightmare name before him. That's kinda... Yeah. That's kinda how I feel.
I mean, if this lawsuit actually gets anywhere beyond, if this actually gets into a courtroom, which it won't, I mean, the WWE will pay in 5 figures. Maybe 6. I see them settling and giving the guys $100,000. I mean, but let's face it.
They're not going to WWE anytime soon.
Yeah, let's face it. They're chasing clout.
I mean, if they do have the trademark and it's a trademark in the same, work environment, then, I mean, they do have the right to say, hey, this is our trademark, don't use it. They're not wrong there, but to think that you're going to go up against the machine that is WWE is kind of insane. I don't know. Maybe they won't settle on a 6-figure deal, but a couple of contracts.
I doubt it, considering they've been competing for 15 years.
Anything's possible in pro wrestling. Alright. I believe that should conclude the news for now.
Yes.
Quick word from our sponsors. So,
Rogue Energy, the only gaming drink company in the world with 4 unique product lines to suit your task at hand, whether it be juices, shakes, smoothies, and everything else in between. Their low calorie, no sugar energy formula is the perfect alternative to sugar filled canned energy drinks and sodas. Their extreme formula provides the most energy, focus, and sports performance possible. Their hydration line offers focus, ingredients without the added caffeine. Drink it anytime you're thirsty. And their shake formula is so delicious. Who doesn't love a cookies and cream, 0-calorie energy milkshake? First and foremost, they've designed every Rogue product line with performance and effectiveness in mind. It is critical that you look at the nutrition panels of drinks when comparing options. There are countless off-brands out there that are presenting low-quality, poorly dosed formulas that amount to expensive caffeine water. Every formula they produce is designed with optimal levels of high-quality ingredients. Additionally, you won't find a powdered gaming drink brand that dissolves better. No need to have chalky textures in your drink. Their taste profiles are unmatched, specifically designed for gamers, athletes, students, entrepreneurs, people with hectic schedules, individuals with low energy, podcasters who can't shut up, people who are health conscious, and so much more. Great as both a pre-workout and as a coffee energy drink replacement. Specifically designed every Rogue product line to be the best gaming drink on the planet. Rogue Energy, more focus, more wins.
use promo code WrestlingWithE for 10% off your next purchase. And we are wrestling with AEW Revolution. It was last Sunday. It took place in San Francisco, California. The Chase Center attendance was 9,000. Buy rate was 130 to 140 million, I believe. I don't know. But I didn't go into this paid preview with a lot of expectations, and they never changed my mind on that topic. Nothing really interesting, nothing really got my attention or made me say, oh wow, this was a lot better than I expected. Or make me change my opinion before I even went into it. But what say you, Scooter?
Not their best pay-per-view.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know what else can be said about it.
Well, let's say more about it. The first match of the night, Ricky Starks defeated Chris Jericho in 13 minutes and 35 seconds. I mean, it made sense to be the opener. I thought it was an okay match. I don't really feel like Ricky gained anything by winning this match, but maybe that was just my opinion. What say you, Scooter?
Yeah, this match didn't need to happen. I mean, they've kind of killed Stark's momentum for now. And it's going to take a while for him to get it back.
I'm sure that Ricky Stark Juice Robinson rivalry is really going to get things going. If you can't detect the sarcasm, then you're misunderstood. Anything you want to add?
I mean, other than... Actually, no, there's nothing I want to add.
How many stars do you give this one?
2.
I'll be kind and I'll say 3. Okay, we got Jungle Boy Jack Perry. He defeated Christian Cake in a final burial match, 14 minutes and 50 seconds. Surprisingly, not shit. I thought it wasn't a bad match. I thought it kind of got where it needed to go. And I thought it was an interesting aesthetic to see Christian go into the casket and then it just dropped it through the floor. What say you, Shooter?
I mean, it was pretty good for, a match that is usually designed to have a clusterfuck ending.
It was the least clustery of fucks.
So, I mean, hey, it's great. I mean, there are rumors that Christian is on his way out.
Possibly in the Hall of Fame soon.
Possibly. Speaking of which, we'll talk about it. Maybe I'll bring this up after, but I found the trademark. But I mean, with Luchasaurus still out, I mean, could this have been a good opportunity to have Jurassic Express reunite?
No.
Yeah, you're right.
Leave the dinosaur buried. Use them for gas when you need them.
But I opened the door, and I got on the floor, and everybody walked the dinosaur.
Ooh.
Open the floor. Everybody walked the dinosaur.
Stop it before we get sued. I don't need those. I don't need Big Delicious suing me.
Well, I don't think you have to worry. The filing date was November 15th, 2022, so they're screwed.
Oh, they just filed it like a couple months ago?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Oh, get the fuck out. Yeah. Alright, next up, and going back to, Chris Jericho and, Ricky Stark, there was a one-in by Sammy Guevara, which then had Action Spaghetti, make the save. So, yeah. Next match, 6-man tag team match for the AEW World Trios titles. We got the House of Black, Malarkey Black, Brody Booker King, and Buddy Don't Call Me Pal Matthews, versus Kenny Olivier and Matt and Nick, Middle-Aged Buck. With Brendan Cutlet and Michael Nakafucking-Zawa. The House Black won, 18 minutes. Just continuing with the cluster fuckery, Scooter?
Yep. My buddy.
And I, by all means, would not call this spiritually orgasmic. How many stars do you give Jungle Boy and Christian?
3.
Give it 3.5 because I actually liked it. Alright, and House of Black versus the Bucks and, Kenny.
3.5.
I give it 2. Alright, now we got Jamie versus Saraya, Don't Call Me Saraya, or Saraya, Don't Call Me Saraya, with Ruby, Han Solo. For a match that was only 10 minutes, meh. What say you?
Yeah, meh, and I don't understand why you would have someone go through the match in a triple threat only for them to, turn heel and join the heels immediately after.
I mean, her hair was foreshadowing her relationship.
I mean, there were also the tattoos on her that say, I'm turning heel, but nobody paid attention to those.
I mean, she got those back in WWE. Pre-November 2022. Oh.
I mean, I'm assuming this is gonna lead up to a woman's blood and guts match.
Oh God.
That's what it seems like it's building to.
You don't exactly seem off on that, which actually really frightens me. Because Saraya, and I'm not saying this to be funny or anything like that, she could legitimately get paralyzed in that type of match. And I can't imagine what will happen to the other girls in that match if they do it. I mean, we haven't seen Tamello and Anna Jay since their hardcore match that they had back in January. Say what you will about them. Getting mutilated in that match wasn't a good thing for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if I was Saraya, I would say no to that match. Also, keep in mind, we haven't seen Santana since the last time they did Blood and Guts. And it was in a meaningless bump that literally cost him, a year of his career. And it wasn't even televised. You didn't even see it. So, hopefully that's not the plan. Does Ruby fit with these girls? I never really felt like she did.
No, she doesn't. She does not. I mean, it doesn't matter that Ruby and Saraya were in their own stable.
And where the hell is Sheeta? This started with Sheeta.
I guess they didn't give a Sheeta.
I guess so. Alright, how many stars do you give this?
2.
I'll give it 2.5. Next match, Texas Debt. We got Hangindale Page versus Moxicillin. And I think we all wish we had a lot of Moxicillin to make us not remember this match. You know those posters of the cats that where they're holding onto a branch and it says "Hang in there"?
Yeah.
That's kind of I feel like Hangman Page is the embodiment of that picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on the match?
Oh, hold on. Okay. I mean, it was okay. I'm not sure I don't think it strictly adhered to what a Texas deathmatch actually is.
When has anything AEW ever did cohere of what it's actually supposed to be?
I mean, well, because the Texas deathmatch is not a match that AEW thought up. The Texas deathmatch has been around since the days of the territories.
Right.
And if you remember, if you've ever seen WrestleMania 10, Randy Savage versus Crush, that Falls Count Anywhere match where after you got pinned, you had 60 seconds to make it back to the ring. And that's what it should have been. Every decision should have been a 10 count. But no, they treated it like a normal match. I mean, a normal death match, except with the with a 10 count.
And
It was last man standing. That's what it was.
It was by a technical submission, but I mean, I don't remember anybody ever submitting to being hung by a chain in a match before. I mean, it wasn't a submission. It wasn't, it wasn't a big deal. But it wasn't, a finisher or, something major. He was choking him. He hung him with a chain. And I feel like this is, okay, if this is your thing, no thing to you. No complaints here. But, there's a time and a place for these kind of matches. And if you want to see them on GCW weekly and just, mindless violence and no story, no psychology, just, this guy's going to stab this guy with a fork and you're going to love it. Then, again, watch GCW, watch CCW. That's why they're there. It's a niche, it's a genre. This type of match should just be in the violence that it had. It should be saved for major rivalries, major blow-off matches between two people that really can't stand each other. CM Punk and MJF. It was a dark horror match. It worked. It was bloody, but it was the payoff. It seems like we're getting more Jon Moxley and Hangman Page after this. And where the fuck do you go after a Texas death with Hangman and Moxley? It makes no sense. And both guys are technically faces.
Well, unless they're building to another Blood and Guts match between the Dark Order and the BCC, considering Stu Grayson is returning.
What does the BBC have to do with this? British Broadcasting Channel.
Yeah, BCC. I mean, explosions.
So, I believe that they might do blood and guts between the Dark Order and the Blackpool Combat Club that has nobody from the Blackpool there anymore. They should change the name, though.
Yeah.
The Combat Friends?
The Combat Friends.
You got the House of Combat, Lucha Combat, Flight in Combat, Bucks in Combat, Combat and Wombats. Hey, I'm attributing to the conversation, Scooter.
I mean, we want to talk about trademarks. You want, or did you want to talk about, what BBC really stands for? It stands for Big Black. Good night, everybody.
Stands for Big Bang Catastrophe.
Ironically, which was, that's what Mitch's mother called him. And I think I've used that joke already.
Possibly. Speaking of BBC and Keith Lee, the way he's been looking lately, he looks like he's been having some spiritual orgasms. No.
Well, it's official. My member has receded into my body.
How many stars do you give this match?
Yeah, I'll give it 3 to be nice.
I give it 1. I think that's the first time we've ever had a 1 star on the show. Unless.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure I've said 1.
Maybe a negative. We've dealt the negative numbers as well. Now we got Wardlow versus Samoa Joe. It was for the TNT Championship. Wardlow won in 10 minutes and 40 seconds. I believe it was by chokeout.
Yep.
I feel really bad for these guys because they had to follow up that clusterfuck of what the fuck with Moxley and Page. And what could have been a better match and got a little bit more attention just kind of died because everybody was spent because they were watching mindless violence for 25 minutes. But I didn't necessarily think that this was a bad match. What say you, Scooter?
Oh, I actually think it was a very good match. I mean, did Wardlow need it? Probably not.
I disagree because it was the rivalry that they had built over the last couple of months. He needed a win back. Did he need to lose the title? And I'm not saying, actually lose it because his car got broken into. But lose it to Powerhouse Hobbs 3 days later, I'd probably say no. But what say you?
Well, I mean, I have to think what I mentioned in the past, that Wardlow has got to be MJF's next feud.
If he's not, then it's a waste.
Yeah. I mean, why then hotshot the title from Wardlow to Hobbs?
Right. But that being said, is Wardlow a big enough name to garner a rating against Max? I'm assuming they won't be doing this match at a paid preview.
Well, if they do it at a pay-per-view, it won't be the main event.
How can it not be the main event when it's the world title?
Blood and guts.
They usually don't do blood and guts at the paid previews. They give that shit away for free.
Who knows at this point, man?
I mean, they could do the Anarchy in the Arena because that's the next paid preview that's gonna come up is Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
Which is kind of poetic that if they do Max and Wardlow, it would be 1 year since their last match together. But are you going to do the same date that you did last year with CM Punk on top? I highly doubt that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Alright, how many stars do you give this one?
3.5.
Yeah, I'd say that's a fair assumption. Alright, we got the 4-way tag team title match. We got the Ass Boys defeating the Scissor Boys versus the TNA Boys versus whatever Orange Cassidy and Danhausen is in 13 minutes and 35 seconds. My thoughts on this match is it was 13 minutes too long. Your thoughts, Scooter?
It was 13 minutes and 10 seconds too long.
It was 13 minutes and 20 seconds too long.
The best part about this match is when it ended.
Which is sad, because I like the Acclaim. And they just got a raw deal in this.
Well, maybe they should, start taking their gunpowder, available from BPI Sports.
How many stars do you give this?
I was gonna give it 1. I'll give it 1.5, just because Danhausen made me chuckle.
I'll give it 2 because FTR came out afterwards to one off the guns. Yeah. And then we got the main event, 60-minute Iron Man match, for the AEW Championship. MJF defeated Bryan Danielson, for the Dream, in sudden death. The match lasted 1 hour and 5 seconds. 1 hour, 5 minutes, 20 seconds. Scooter, I'll let you start us off.
This was it was the best nap I ever had.
I mean, an hour and 5 minutes, yeah.
I mean, they set the record for longest Iron Man match. I mean, no, by about 3 minutes.
Does the overtime work if the babyface doesn't win in the end?
Yeah, I mean, having Danielson tap, that's kind of saying, oh, MJF can beat him at his own game.
Well, I mean, he hit him with a can of ale first, so I mean, it wasn't like he just slapped on a crossface.
I mean, yeah, maybe this was 64 minutes too long.
Well, I'll say what my thoughts on the match were. I didn't watch all of the match.
Not did I.
I sped it up to 15 minutes on the clock, and it went 20 minutes, and that 20 minutes was way too long, and I only watched 20 minutes out of an hour match. I missed 40 minutes, and I feel like I missed nothing. It's just, honestly, it's the best way I could describe it is the opposite of a spiritual orgasm. And it's just, why do a 60-minute Iron Man match when the bad guy is going to win on a paid preview? It doesn't, nothing of it worked for me. And again, if I watched 20 minutes, it was 20 minutes too long. It was 15 minutes too long. And Danielson bled for whatever reason. MJF bled for no reason. If you're going to do, a traditional technical match, why do you need blood? Just one. Nothing worked for me with this match.
I mean, you were probably better off having them only have three decisions at the most. I mean, what was my suggestion? That MJF was going to get himself disqualified over and over again?
Yeah.
And then take advantage of the fact that he's beaten down Danielson and get repeated pinfalls to even it up. No, not well, it happened once.
Right.
But yeah, it's a shame because AEW has been coming through with some really quality pay-per-view main events.
I would disagree with that. Actually, I completely disagree with that. We had MJF versus Jon Moxley, which was an okay match. We had CM Punk versus Jon Moxley, which was an okay match. I think the one before that was
Forbidden Door.
Forbidden Door, which was Tanahashi versus Moxley, which was, again, an okay match. I think the only one that had like a solid preview main event that, I believed was the main event because it went on last was CM Punk versus Page. And then I think the month before that was the Battle of the Atoms, which maybe was quite possibly the best paid preview main event that they had in any of their paid previews.
That's a fair point.
Alright, Uncle Dave gave this match 5 7/4 of a 5 and
Wait. You can't have 7 quarters. That would be 1 3/4.
He gave it over 5 stars.
So what, 5 7/8?
Something like that. I can't remember the exact number, but it was like 5/8 or something like that. 5.5, 5 and.
Oh, God damn it, Dave.
What say you, Scooter? How many stars do you give this?
Two and a half.
I give it 2. And I give 2 big middle fingers to Dave Meltzer as well. Alright. Just talking about it makes me kind of sad because there was good shit on this show, but I feel like that was overshadowed by all the bad shit. Like, Jericho and Starks, it was what it was, but it got where it needed to go. Jungle Boy and Christian was a good match, and it was a blow-off match to, their rivalry, and I thought that was good. And I mean, Wardlow and Samoa Joe, those were good matches, but I feel like all of that was overshadowed by Moxley bleeding to death, an hour match, and, things not making sense. How do you feel about it, Scooter?
Well, I mean, hey, now I know what to put on if I'm having trouble sleeping.
Not wrong about that. If you're Tony Khan and you're not Tony Khan, looking at this big preview, does it tell you who you should and shouldn't go with?
First of all, who are you to say I'm not Tony Khan? Secondly,
I'm your therapist. Take your meds, Scooter.
you're a tall Afro-Caribbean man from Haiti.
I'm not going to comment on that in fear of getting canceled.
No, that's actually the correct term, Afro-Caribbean.
Well, as you know, I am not. What was we talking about? Oh yeah. Does this the matches that were on that night? Does it tell you who you should and shouldn't go with?
Yeah, it does.
Alright, let's just hope that Tony Khan becomes a rational human being between now and this episode. So we know he's not. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
Thumbs not only down, but they've been bent and rotated around so that the whole hand is facing the other way towards you.
I give it a thumbs down as well. Alright, that will conclude our coverage of AEW Revolution, Evolution, whatever you want to call it. Of course, this was the 200th episode. If you've been listening to us since episode 1, I'm so sorry that you've endured all this. If you've just joined us for the first time tonight, I hope you enjoyed it. And if you joined us anywhere in the middle, thank you for listening. Just thank you, and we hope to continue bringing you another 200 episodes of, insightfulness, some jokes, some news, and just some fun. Of course, if you like what we're doing, please subscribe, comment on YouTube and Castbox. Of course, this is sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us this Tuesday and Wednesday as we interview AJ Kazana and Joe Kazana. Follow the show at Wrestling with Evo on Twitter and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. You can follow me personally at JamesJ993. Where can they find Scooter?
As always, find me on Twitter at ScooterDust. Again, the remix, it's still up in the air. Keep an eye out for more information. And of course, revel in all my Twitch antics, along with Rico Constantino Jr. and the rest of the Smoking Dragons clan. Twitch.tv/Smoking Dragons.
For Kaliko Yachts and Scooter Dust, I'm James Shea, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.